Hi, and welcome to Financial ChitChat. My name is Jerry Hill, and the subject today that we're going to cover is the liability coverage on your homeowners policy. Now, in this case, when I say homeowners policy, I'm also talking about if you're a renter, and I'm also talking about if you're a condo owner. You're going to have a policy that covers you for liability, along with, in the case of a renter, your contents coverage. In the case of a condo owner, same thing. And in the case of a homeowner, much more coverage because they're covering the structure as well. Now, people ask all the time, why don't I just take the minimum liability on a homeowner's policy? Oftentimes that means like $100,000. Now, to tell you the facts about those policies, if you get a quote for $100,000, ask them what the quote is on $500,000 of liability. That's generally as high as they go. And most of the time, the difference is like $20, which is not a lot. Now you ask the question, well, what would that cover? And it covers basic things like, I'm a golfer. I like to go out golfing. Oftentimes the courses around me have houses on them. And those houses are generally on a street. And if you're somebody that kind of hits the ball all over the place and maybe you go off the course and it crashes through a plate glass window on a house or it hits a car, that's covered by your homeowner's policy and it's going to be covered under liability. If you're not a golfer, let's say for instance you own a condominium or you're renting a condominium, and for whatever reason there's a liability issue there. I can remember when I lived in a condominium with my wife, the gal upstairs had a waterbed, and while she was gone, that waterbed punctured, and that water came down into our unit. And there was tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage. There's quite a bit of water apparently in a waterbed. And her condo policy under liability covered that. And so that's another instance of liability. Maybe you're somebody who likes to go out and shop and you like retail shopping. Say you're in a store and it's an expensive store and maybe you bump into a display and it comes crashing down, kind of your worst nightmare, right? And the clerk or the store owner comes along and says, hey, you're going to be responsible for paying for all that. Well, that's also a liability issue and would go directly to your homeowner's policy or your renter's policy or your condo policy, and it would be paid under that. Now, the great thing about those policies is there is no deductible on liability. So you would have immediate payment from the insurance company for whatever liability it was that you incurred for that loss. Now I've given you kind of 3 examples, but there are so many more. I know that last year the insurance industry paid out over $2 billion in liability claims just for dog bites. So you got to look out for that as well if you're a dog owner. There is liability in that, and I know most people own very sweet dogs, but apparently the insurance industry paid out quite a bit of money last year because of that. And again, no deductible, but it is covered under your homeowner's policy. So it's very broad and it's very helpful. And so take a look at your limit and maybe it's time to increase it at very little cost. Thank you for watching Financial ChitChat.